anything you can do, I can do smaller.
Anything you quilt, I can quilt smaller than you. Welcome to Watch and Learn. Today we're going to talk about micro quilting. So just quilting things really small, right?
Yeah, taking any design you want and just making it small.
I love it. So let's dive into this.
Okay, let's talk about some of the tools to start out with. Okay, tools of the trade. Whenever I am micro quilting, I like to use a thinner thread.
Yeah.
So for this project, I'm using a micro quilter from Superior Threads.
Okay.
It's a 100-weight thread. And it is fantastic because when you're micro quilting, you got a lot of thread in close together.
Exactly.
And sometimes you don't want it to build up a lot. So the micro quilter for thread has been great.
Do you usually pick a thread that's the same color as what your, like a blending thread, or do you like to do contrasting threads?
The majority of the time I do a blending thread.
Okay.
Every once in a while I want to add a little pop of color, but I would say 90% at least I use blending threads.
Okay. A blending thin thread, like that.
Okay, I'm going to pull this machine over here and we're going to talk about some of the tools on here as well as the settings. Okay, so on here I've already got my micro foot on, and I always joke about this foot. When I first saw it, I thought it was broken, but it gives me the best visibility so I can see exactly where I'm at and what parts I haven't quilted on. Because when you're working in a really small area, if the foot's covering part of that, you're missing a whole chunk.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is the microfoot. Another thing that I really enjoy using on the Amara family machines is the adjustable handlebars. So I can rotate here and shift the handle down, take the other clip on the back here, and I can rotate it in. I can also telescope it. And I like to have those handlebars down pretty close to where I'm going to be stitching. So I'm going to try to get this other side without getting in your way. Okay, so see how my hands are down there? Got a lot of control. Now for me, I don't know if you can see how I'm standing. I'm like, it's super low. I want to be down there close to where I'm going to be stitching. So I'm going to bring over my stool. And I like to sit on my stool, rest my arms on my pole, and then I've got a lot of control here. And I'm just using my wrist to do the quilting. Okay? So those are my tools. Now let's talk about the settings.
Okay.
So up here on my screen, right now it's in regulated cruise. I'm going to change it to a manual mode. And I love using manual for really small micro quilting. It's set at a speed of 700. I always encourage people to play with those numbers and find what you're comfortable with. And each design is going to be a little bit different. Some designs you're going to be moving the machine faster, so you want to have a higher speed. Others you might be a little bit slower, so you might want to lower the speed. Okay? Now, let's talk about our lighting.
Yes.
So right now, all of my lights are off, so I can't see anything.
Right. Which is what we have to do for filming. That's why the lights are turned off, right?
Yes. But I'm going to turn them back on just for a moment. And I've got all of that lighting to help me see. Now, sometimes that lighting might not be what I want, so I can adjust the lighting. So that's going to adjust the lighting in my throat and put all the light right here. Or I can turn that one back on, and I'm just going to lower this one down. Oh, and I've got a little bit of a shadow there now, so it might be easier to see. So again, play with the lighting, see what you're comfortable with, and I adjust it as the day goes on. Sometimes your eyes are going to get tired. Okay, so, sorry you guys, I keep getting this frog in my throat. Okay, so now let's talk about why we're going to do some micro quilting before we actually start stitching. So I've got some examples over here. I'm going to pull over. So Kim, why do you do micro quilting?
I like to do micro quilting because it makes the unquilted area really pop. It will draw attention to the design that I want to draw attention to.
Excellent. So I'm going to actually pop over to this quilt right here because this one really demonstrates that. I'm going to kind of shift this so that the lighting will catch, and you can see all of these little ghost stars See how those pop out even though that's not even quilted? So it's the stuff that's not quilted that you're going to see. Okay, another reason that I like to do micro-quilting is background fills. And this isn't necessarily going to be like the tiny, tiny micro-quilting, but a little bit smaller. So like right through here, you can see it's got some crosshatch, and in this section here, just to kind of fill in that space. Okay, let's pop over to the next one. Oh, and these quilts are from an educator challenge from 2016. And this one's Debbie Brown's. Now, deciding where to put the micro-quilting to really make things pop. Like to me, this is a pretty dense quilting, but if you look over here, look how dense that is. I call that the scribble stitch, and see how much it makes those triangles really pop there?
It does.
So you can change the density. Look at these little tiny feathers. Oh my goodness. That is Debbie Brown for you. Fabulous. Okay, so the micro-quilting helps things pop. Now this example shows us different designs. So you're not limited to, a lot of people think, oh, micro-quilting is just a tiny stipple. We've got lots of different designs in here.
So as I've gotten up close, I noticed that that thread has just a little bit of sparkle, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm dying to find out what thread they used. It's fabulous.
I think it might be glitter. Maybe it's either glitter or a metallic. But that's a fun thing to do actually for a background fill because it not only gives texture, it gives a little sparkle.
So those are some fun examples. Now let's talk about some different designs that we can do. So we're going to pull out some preview paper here.
Okay, so I have a question before you start on the different designs we can do.
Yes.
What makes something micro-quilting?
Okay, so that goes back to the thing with the quilt police.
Okay.
There is no like specific right or wrong, at least not that I've ever heard of.
I agree.
That tells you, oh, that's too small, that's not small enough. So I always say a design done smaller, you choose how small is small for you.
Okay.
Do you have a different definition?
No, I don't. Sometimes people will ask, that is a question that we get sometimes.
Yep.
Is this considered micro-quilting when it's just a design done on a little bit of a smaller scale? And I will say, well, do you consider it micro-quilting? Yeah? Okay, then yes, it's micro-quilting.
Yep. You're in charge of your own quilts. But
exactly.
Yeah. So I say, you know, if it's something probably like smaller than a dime, I'm looking at my dime shape right here. Maybe, yeah, smaller than that, I would consider micro-quilting.
Okay.
But again,
it's all relative. It's all relative. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So I was going to just talk about a couple different designs that we can use. A very common one is pebbles. So just circles.
And you've got some preview paper out here that you're drawing on, just so that everybody knows.
I'm not drawing on the quilt. It's some preview paper.
Yes.
And I made sure that the cut side was off the edge of the quilt. And I've got the black lines here, so
smart.
I am fully covered. Okay.
Yeah, pebbles are super common in micro-quilting.
Yes.
Remember, pebbles in nature are not perfectly round.
And they're not all the same size.
Exactly.
So purposefully make them different so that they work well. Okay, let's go ahead and we can do lines. So some of those examples that you saw just had some lines. We could do like a paisley. This is a fun one where you can echo around it. And this is a very chunky marker that I'm trying to do little tiny quilting with, so yeah.
It's good though, it makes it easy to see.
Yep, so that's getting pretty dense. What's another design that you like to do?
I'll do like the pebbles with swirls every so often. That's kind of a fun one.
So a lot of times people think micro-quilting, they have to do one design, but you can incorporate multiple designs, and my nice swirl didn't show up because the marker was too fat.
It's okay, we know what you're doing.
Whee, there's a
swirl.
Swirl. Swirl.
Another one that I use a lot is just using a meander.
Okay.
Which is a great way to really fill a space.
And the best part about this, when it's so tiny and a blending thread, if your lines cross, nobody will ever notice. Okay, so I've got this block here that I want to put some micro quilting into it, and possibly in the background as well, to make things pop.
Okay.
So this checkerboard here, I'm going to go in, I'm just going to do some lines, and then I'm going to travel, and I'm going to do some lines.
Okay,
Travel, lines. I'm doing every other one.
Love it. So you really are making it look like a checkerboard with that every other.
We'll get kind of lazy here. Just scribble them in. Let's see. Oh, I got to do that one. And I don't know if you ever have issues with remembering which block you're supposed to do stuff in. So here's a fun little tip. Take a marking tool, like your dry erase, not dry erase, don't use dry erase.
Air erase?
Air erase.
Or water soluble?
Yeah, and actually make like a dot in every one that you want to stitch in.
Okay.
And that will help you to remember which one to do when you're actually quilting. Now in this section, I want to put something in this middle parts to allow this channel here to pop open.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do a stipple or meander and just fill those in.
Even like a scribble and just really pack it down.
Yeah. And I'm not worried about like really packing it down too much.
Okay.
But just the whole action of adding a lot of thread and packing it down, that's what's going to create the poof in this other section.
Okay.
Because that's going to be lower and that's going to come up higher. And that is what's going to become the focus. So we're going to stipple in here, beautiful stippling, la 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 la. And in there.
I love
Okay.
it.
So again, if I want these channels to really pop, I'm going to probably need to do something in this background as well. And I'm thinking I'm just going to play with that. Combine a bunch of different designs and just kind of do whatever I happen to do at that particular moment.
I love it.
Just be wild and crazy. So, okay, should we stitch?
Let's do some stitching.
Okay, I'm just packing down that thread, traveling, packing it down. Okay, this is what I really love about the manual mode is that hum. And you just hear the machine just cruising along, consistent speed, just makes it nice and smooth. It's not a super fast process.
No, you just sit back and kind of enjoy the zen of it, right?
Yes. I do recommend taking breaks frequently, letting your eyeballs relax. I'm just going to go ahead and throw in my stipple in here. And I'll continue on. Yeah, if you do this for too long, your eyes are going to go crazy.
So Kristina, did you quilt smaller than me?
I think I quilted smaller than you.
Especially since I didn't do any quilting. I think you definitely did. This looks so great. And I love that you showed us a lot of different designs, and you even did them at different scales, which I think is fun to see in micro-quilting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to all be that super dense, packed down. And it's okay to change scale as you're going too, right?
Yeah, when you start out really, really small and you just don't have time and you make it grow bigger and bigger as you go,
It's all good.
that happens. One tip that I do have, speaking of that, is if you're going to be quilting in one section and then repeating kind of the similar micro-quilting in another section of the quilt that you can't see,
Right.
I always like to take a picture of what I did and even put like a dime or something down on the quilt so that you have something to kind of show that scale by.
That's smart.
So, yeah, so on this one, I will finish up the block, but you can see how that quilting really allows this motif to pop out, but I will continue that throughout the quilt and hopefully not kill myself by the end of the quilt.
Oh, you'll have fun with it.
It'll take a little bit of time, but
It'll take a little bit of
fun.
time, but you sit down, you put on a good audiobook
Yeah.
or maybe like some good music, and you just like enjoy this end of
Yep.
micro-quilting, right?
Especially in that manual mode with
Yeah.
just that nice hum. Yeah.
That was really
We didn't
good.
even plan that.
We did not even plan that. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. If you'd like to have one of your quilts featured at the end of our videos, be sure to tag Handi Quilter in one of your posts. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure and give us a like and subscribe, and have fun quilting.